I like the hyperbole in sports reporting. Evisceration, you see that a lot. Obliterate. Well, 3 points. A win is a win. Darius Garland gets 41 points last night.
Career high.
This guy's out there murdering, sure.
He took over in the fourth quarter. It was awesome.
Well done.
Watching with Grandma. It was a good game.
You and Grandma? Yeah. At Casa Grandma or Squifle Tower?
Yeah, we always hang out at her place.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
And is she, I know you're on the 9th floor, she's on the 10th. Is she directly above you?
No, she's...
Other side?
Other side, yeah.
So you couldn't
I have the lake view. She has the lake and the city.
Oh, pardon me. Yeah. Okay, so you couldn't tap on the ceiling with a broomstick.
No, that's a different neighbor who I also know who's
you do?
Yeah, he's he makes content and stuff. Like he's a director and actor, Jake Barkus.
Okay.
Yeah, he was above me.
Have you ever had any contact with the people whose bathrooms below you flooded?
Yeah,
when your bathroom flooded.
I had to go and tell them I was the person and get their information. So yeah, I had to talk with them, and very sweet elderly couple.
Oh, okay.
They're very, very kind, and I'll see them in the elevators from time to time, and there's no bad blood there.
That's good.
Yeah. I was
nervous, but that's your one piece of connective tissue with them. Do they ever go how's the bathroom?
No, they mostly just talk to me about my dog.
Ah.
Yeah. That's like everybody in the building. Like, you just talk about...
That's the conversation
you talk about
piece.
Whoopsie.
The dog, yeah.
How's Whoopsie?
Mm-hmm. Even when she's not with you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
Because that's what they know me as. Like, they don't know what I do.
You're the dog guy.
I don't talk to anybody about my job there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's
Does
one
Grandma
guy...
know?
Grandma has hunches. There's one guy on the maintenance staff that knows what I do, and I think he listens a little bit.
Are you trying to actively keep it a secret, or it would just be weird to bring up?
I'm not going to bring it up.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to be like,
it's not going to mean anything to elderly neighbors.
Right, exactly. Right. So I don't bring it up. And if somebody does bring it, like there's a few people in the building that know who I am. Mm-hmm. And if they ask me anything, it's no problem. They're all very kind. I get along very well with everybody in the building. So that's nice. But I also don't want to, I'm not going to throw it in people's faces. That seems weird to do.
That's wild that you know so many people in your building.
It's just that, so the way my building's set up, there's elevators on the south side of the building and elevators on the north side. So I mostly know people on the north side, and that I just see them in the elevator. So they're not it's not like I'm having these big, long conversations or hanging out at their places. It's just the 30 seconds in the elevator that we're talking.
You know the people in your wing.
Yeah.
Yeah, over the years when I've lived in high-rises, I've known precisely one neighbor. And it was usually because I had to have some conversation with them. I've never known more than a couple of neighbors.
I mean, I've lived there for over 2 years now. Well, I've lived in the building for almost 4.
Right.
So, but I lived in my spot for over 2.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I was living with Grandma there, I didn't interact with anybody really. But having the dog is why people say anything to me.
Was it because people thought that you were her boy toy?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
And they felt strange about...
No,
they felt weird talking to you about it.
I feel like I just didn't see people very often. And I feel like I've been seeing people more often. And maybe it's just because I'm doing more things. I don't know. But I was also kind of operating in off hours when I was coming home later and I wasn't doing the regular day-to-day stuff. Having to take the dog out increases the amount of times that I have to use the elevator. So I'm in and out of my place 2 or 3 times in the before I leave for work, and then another 2 times in the evening.
Do you let the door slam or do you shut it quietly?
On what?
Your apartment when you leave. Does the door slam?
No, I don't slam it.
No, but
I just close it regular. I don't know the way.
But do you manually close it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, because if you let a door close, sometimes it'll slam.
Yeah. Well, my door won't close automatically.
Oh, it won't.
Yeah.
You don't have that pneumatic thing up top, little, like a hotel room door?
I don't like those, especially having a dog, because I'm afraid sometimes, because there is one of those in our building, and I always get nervous because sometimes it will slap shut real fast, and I'm afraid Whoopsie's going to get caught in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like those.
Major League Baseball has announced a $1 million fund to support spring training workers. during the lockout. A whole $1 million from Major League Baseball. How are they going to spend that money? $1 million. Congratulations. So what does that mean? Every team can pay about a dozen people for a month? Hey, there you go. Congratulations. I don't know what that means, but they made a whole big show of this. $1 million fund. $1 million. Eligible for grants for all the ML. It is pretty wild if you've kept an ear to the ground, because obviously here in Cleveland, I think it's safe to say that there is particular interest in what's going on because it's the Guardians' inaugural season. Everybody's really excited. All this hoopla, building up to opening day, and now everything's being postponed and blah, blah, blah. But it is wild how pro-owners all of the coverage has been. Have you noticed that? It's very pro-owners.
I haven't seen any coverage.
Every story I've read, it's all about what the owners are doing. And
all the coverage I see is like the owners are the ones messing up.
Well, I think when people are talking about it on social media, but when you read articles in like The Ringer or whatever, like to your point, the overwhelming majority of fans blame the owners for the problems. Nobody's blaming the players, but the coverage always seems to be, I think the Players Union did something like this a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't read anything about it. Somebody told me they did, but all those stories about Major League Baseball got $1 million. Because Apple had this big announcement. Apple was announcing their iPhone, right? Some budget iPhone. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, the SE.
SE, right? It's got heated seats. Mm-hmm. And they mentioned also a deal with Major League Baseball where they're going to start showing Friday night games on Apple once the dust settles here. So that's really bad timing when the owners are trying to convince the Players Union, we don't have any money. And they're like, whoops, new deal with Apple. Really bad timing. But it's interesting to read these stories because the ones that get all the attention are the ones that like the owners in the league are doing. And again, I don't follow chapter and verse of this. I would just like baseball to start. Just like everybody else. Yes, of course. So all of the Cactus League and Grapefruit League employees that are impacted by the lockout will get a chance to do things and get paid, I guess. So that's like grounds crew. Listen, those are people I'm very happy would get paid to do things.
This is why we need Gab, because I feel like, she's not a spring training employee as much as a regular season, but are they going to take care of her?
Don't know. I do not know. Bill knows everyone because he took pictures of everyone in the lobby so everyone can address each other by name. You should do that. Like Kramer did, where they were kissing hello and all that, the hugging. You should do that.
I do not want to do that.
Yeah.
I know the people that I know, and I'm very cordial with people, and I just try to be quick with people.
I understand.
Like, I don't need, there's some people, I'll see them, and they will just talk and because they got nothing else to do.
Sure.
I got things to do.
Right. You want an easy in and an easy out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But also friendly at the same time.
Okay. But that's secondary.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I have to be somewhere, all right? I know you're just waiting for the Reaper to knock on your door. I have to go to work. I have to go somewhere else. I've got prison mail. We haven't had prison mail.
Dear Mama, shouldn't have did what I done. Dear Papa, getting caught with a gun. Sitting here writing down letters of hope. Praying every night that I just don't drop the soap. Dear Alan, read my message today. I'm in prison!
This was a strange bit. We haven't had, and this might explain it. Alan, I wrote you a few years ago, and I included a drawing of Erica. I think there were a handful of dudes that were sending Erica drawings. There's like, listen, whatever whiles away the time while you're on the inside. Although, I would point out, I don't know that we've gotten any prison mail that includes drawings of Mary. I don't know if that would be a point of pride or whatever. He said, this is from Kevin, I'm writing again after just getting out of jail in Pennsylvania, where they don't allow physical mail anymore. I was doing 3 years for aggravated assault and methamphetamine distribution. More and more prisons are transferring scans of letters. I was reading about this where prisons, because there's a company that apparently will do this, and so the prisons go, yeah, cool, that's great. Transferring scans of letters and then sending the printouts to the inmates, which we have to pay for, he says. Or we can see it on a tablet that's owned by the prison. So rather than, they say it's for security purposes, but I mean, they've been checking inmate mail for decades. So what they have now is, rather than getting, paper mail or a handwritten letter from mom and dad or whatever, they have a system that'll scan it, and then you get the printout of the letter. So maybe that's why our prison mail pretty much just dropped off. I assumed it was because of the pandemic. But that's from Kevin. Say hi to your gang. I'm happy to be out and hear the show again.
Happy you're out, bud.
Happy you're out, Kevin. Keep your nose clean.
Yeah.
For some guys, it's drugs. For some, it's a knife. One dude shot his dog for banging his wife. Dear Alan, read my message today. I'm in prison.
I was reading an amazing story. I think my brother sent me this. A guy who was being extradited from Los Angeles to Appleton, Wisconsin, slipped his security at O'Hare.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Okay, so a guy who was being extradited from Los Angeles to Appleton, Wisconsin, had to get routed. There are companies that will contract out to prisons that will go get prisoners, right? These transport companies. Mm-hmm. They'll go out to get them, and then they will escort them to where they need to be. And so this guy had multiple arrests in Brown County, Wisconsin. Possession of methamphetamine and cocaine, bail jumping, criminal damage to property, possession of weapons, all kinds of stuff. So this guy has hightailed it to L.A. They get the guy. They put him in county. He's waiting to get extradited back to Wisconsin. And they route him, the company that transports, they route him through O'Hare. That's your hub. You're not going to go L.A. to Appleton. You got to go through O'Hare. So while the transportation officer turned away to get food for the guy, he ran away, and they can't find him.
Oh, yeah.
How'd you like to be that guy? The prisoner that you are in charge of transporting from Los Angeles through Chicago to Appleton, Wisconsin, escapes your custody.
I went to get a Mexican pizza. He was gone. Guys, it was just a Mexican pizza. It wasn't going to be around much longer.
I turned around. The girl said, "My pleasure." Handed me the fries. Next thing
So,
I know,
like, this guy didn't have, like, ankle chains
what I'm
on or
saying.
anything?
he had the bracelets, not the ankles. He had handcuffs on.
You gotta put the ankles on. That way they can't make a quick getaway.
The officer turned
They
his
can run. They can run.
Yeah, this is 31-year-old Tyler Martinez, and the transport officer turned his attention away when he was getting food for him. Mm-hmm. Martinez ran away, and the transport officer could not find him. So he called Chicago PD. He was not found inside the airport. Surveillance video showed that he got out of the handcuffs and was seen boarding a car rental shuttle bus. So I don't know. He couldn't have had, like, DOC on. I don't know. I mean, would you let a guy like that, it looks like an escaped convict, on a rental bus? You could be standing there with both your suitcases, and the rental bus will pass you up. He's currently at large. He's 6'2", 200 pounds. And he got away at O'Hare. That's an easy airport to slip into the crowd. It's packed.
It's
nuts
huge,
to butts.
yeah.
Huge and always full. This is
that
not...
is that one of the biggest airports? I mean, probably LAX is probably the biggest, right? And
well, the busiest, or it always goes back and forth between O'Hare or Jackson in Atlanta.
Jackson in
Yeah.
Atlanta. Okay.
I don't think they're the biggest, but they're usually the busiest.
Busiest because there's so many flights that route through them.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is not the first incident with this company, as a murder suspect escaped in December of 2020. I wonder if it was the same guy. Johnson, get in here.
Again?
This is the second. Yeah.
What is it with you ordering these guys food and letting them get away every time?
And the last time it was food too. The last guy who got away, the murder suspect, they were in the transport van They were at a McDonald's drive-thru in Gary, Indiana, and he climbed out an open window in the van. Would you have any open windows? It's like
No.
It's like George Clooney meeting Sam Jackson out of sight. So this transport company is out of Wisconsin, and so they get subcontracted by prisons to extradite prisoners back, and this guy slipped out at O'Hare.
It's like an episode of My Name is Earl. They
Yeah.
were in jail. They got, there's people breaking out all the time. It's hilarious.
The guy who slipped out of the van, this was around Christmas 2020, he asked the transport people if they could roll a window down so he could spit. He opened the door, ran off, and he wasn't wearing shackles. So I don't know how you keep getting business if you're this company and you keep letting... Now, I'm sure that they transport hundreds of, it's a small percentage, but still. Sounds like they're treating these guys pretty well. You want to put this guy in the shackles? Nah, be fine. Let's go to a Chick-fil-A. This guy's hungry. Yeah. Wow. You know who Ryan Coogler is?
Yeah, he's the director of Black Panther.
Yeah, Black Panther. He's doing the sequel. He did Creed.
Did he do I think he was the producer on Judas and the Black Messiah.
Okay.
Or did he direct it?
No,
I'm
he's
not
only
sure.
he's only directed like 4 movies.
Okay, I think he was a producer on that.
He goes, now again, the world being what it is, you got to be you, but he freaked this lady out. Ryan Coogler was at a Bank of America in Atlanta, and he's wearing sunglasses, he's wearing a hat, and he's wearing a mask. And he hands the cashier, who is a black woman, so it's not like some white lady got freaked out. He hands the cashier a note that says, "Hey, I want to withdraw $12,000 in cash from my account, but I would like to do it discreetly." He hands her the note. She flips out and hits the alarm. And so the cops come and end up getting Ryan Coogler like on his stomach in handcuffs.
Okay, so it's not like there was somebody that robbed the bank and they're like, they thought he was the guy because he was the black guy there. This is a situation where it was just a weird way to request something, and the lady freaked out.
Yeah, she called the cops saying, "I got a bank robber here." Again, I don't know why you would ever do that.
Yeah.
Why would you ever walk in, write it? Any teller you hand a note, they're going to have one finger on that alarm. So he's all mad but it's like, bro, you hat on, sunglasses, mask. He demanded the badge numbers of all the cops, and he was super mad. By the way, how are they going to indiscreetly give you your money? I mean, I don't go to a bank lobby very often. I'm not Mary Santora. But if you go to a bank lobby and talk to the teller, they're like talking to you like this the whole time. They're not like, "Okay, how would you like your $12,000 in 50s or 100s or writes her a note? I'd like to very discreetly make a withdrawal from my account."
And like you bring one of those bags. If you bring like a lock bag, they put tons of money in those all the time, and that's and then you put it in another bag. I think you
bring 2 canvas bags with a
dollar
drawstring
signs
that
on
have
them.
dollar signs on them and say, "Hey, could you fill these up, please?" Walk in wearing a top hat and a monocle, and they'll know you mean business. A big, bushy, white mustache. He's in Atlanta shooting the Black Panther sequel to Wakanda Forever.
I wonder what he was going to use that $12,000 for. He was going to the club.
Doesn't say. But he had an SUV outside, and I guess, they're not sure what. Again, under normal circumstances, you might go, "Okay, well, he had some friends drop him off. He went in." But what a weird way to go about it. I mean, yeah, they probably could have asked him a couple more questions, but he hands her a handwritten note. "Please," it says, is a photo of the note. "I would like to withdraw $12,000 cash from my checking account. Please do the money count somewhere else. I'd like to be discreet." Couldn't you just whisper that to the...
I feel like what he requested is not that insane, and she did definitely overreact.
She might have. I'm not saying she didn't.
She
It's
definitely
just,
did.
You think so?
Yeah, because he's not demanding anything. And she's taking the money from his account. He's saying, "Take the money from my account."
Yeah.
And then count it over there, because it's a lot of money to ask you to, and I don't want you to count it out in front of everybody.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because the article's like, they're not sure why he needed the cash. But that doesn't matter. It's his
No, it
money.
doesn't
He can do
matter.
whatever he wants to.
I am also curious about it. Like, I want to know what he was going to do because it sounds like if you got $12,000, you're going to go do something fun. You're going to go have a good night. You're going to go buy a fun toy. Like, you're going to have a good time with $12K.
In Atlanta, by the way.
Cash, yeah, exactly.
You can blow through $12,000 in Atlanta in about 3 hours. If you're doing it right.
I could do it in an hour and a half if I had to.
Anyway, Bank of America and the cops all apologize to him, and who knows?
Also, it's also not I mean, yes, $12,000 is a lot of money, but it's not a and he's giving a specific amount. He's not saying you should give me
$100,000 in 20s,
or give me everything that's in your drawer or anything like that. He's requesting a specific, and he's giving you his account. So like, there's no stealing happening there.
Right.
If he's the guy in the account, I think it's on the lady.
Well, also, why not fill out the withdrawal form and say, "Hey, could you count this somewhere else?" Maybe he thought that maybe she wouldn't understand him in the mask. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he just didn't even want to bring attention to how much he was. So he was trying to be. He thought he was being as discreet as possible, and it just didn't work out. I think what he should have done is not gone to a teller, but gone to one of the people that have like a cubicle or their own like office, and done it that way.
Yeah,
and maybe
go to the
that's what
bank
he'll
manager.
do. Yeah, mm-hmm. I know. Whenever I pull out $12,000 cash. Which it happens, all the time.
All the time, sure. Well, you want to leave the $2 still in there.
What's the most money you both have had, like, in your possession?
Like
not
cash?
Not in your bank account. Like cash that you've carried around.
The most money I've ever had carrying around, cash in my pocket.
I never have it for that
I wouldn't
I'm
even
not
say
a cash guy, but like I've had like probably $2,000. Maybe?
Yeah, probably a few $1,000.
I was gonna say you didn't necessarily have to have it walking around, but just saying like in your possession, like if you had it in a safe somewhere, you can grab that.
Probably overseas where where like ATMs are weird and yeah. But you're carrying around like local money. So
the most I've ever had was probably like $1,200.
$1,200. And why did you have $1,200 in your pocket?
I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure I was on vacation. I don't think it was Jamaica. Where else did I go that was out of the country? Maybe
Mexico, Isla Mujeres.
No, Isla Mujeres. I did use my card, and I only brought.
And there you can use American money. They prefer you to use American money.
Yeah, because I remember I brought maybe like $800, and that was more than enough in pesos. I don't remember where I was, but I know I was out of the country. And
that's Jeff Bezos, Bill, the head of Amazon.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Canada. I don't remember. Oh, it was San Diego. That's
it must have been over. It was another country.
No,
Which one was it? San Diego.
No. It was San Diego because my friends wanted to go over to Tijuana. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to have it just in case, and in case I got sideswiped in my card and my information got stolen.
Sideswiped,
I wanted to make sure I had money to bribe.
In case there was some cartel violence at the donkey show.
Honestly, and I had to have money for bribery. I literally brought that.
He likes to be prepared.
That is smart. Now, $50 is enough for bribery. $1,200, that's please don't cut my head off money.
Well, not all of it was for the bribery. I was going to bribe them with maybe $100. That's plenty to them. But I brought money. I was like, well, I'll kill two birds with one stone. I guess won't stop.
Cocaine.
I won't stop at the ATM down there.
Cocaine! Okay, I got a break. We'll be back after these. 35192 if you want to text.
The Alan